Hi there, thanks for making time to watch this video as we dive into positioning for third base coaches. This follows up a video about positioning for first base coaches. If that's something you'd like to watch, I will post a link to that video down in the description. But for now, let's crack on with coaching third base, looking at some scenarios to help you with your positioning. First thing I will say is, certainly compared to coaching first base, this is where you are going to get your steps in. You should be active. And just like I see a lot of first base coaches that just hang out at the home plate end of the coach's box, I see a similar trend with third base coaches where they're almost stationary, stuck here at the home plate end. And that's not what we want to do. There's a time and a place to be there, but we shouldn't be stuck in place. So let's go through these scenarios. Let's start with a runner at first base. Now, firstly, if this runner can make a decision without your help, that's great. All right, we want to encourage and develop elite decision making and decision makers, but there's a time where we can help them out. Okay, typically that's when the ball is going to be hit behind them. So ball hit out here to right field, down the right field line. That's when, as this runner approaches and rounds second base, it's going to be easier for them to maintain full speed and pick us up here on the outfield side of third base. Okay, way easier for them to maintain speed, keep their head on a swivel, but pick us up here. Okay, we want to be on the outfield side of third base. Okay, we do not want to be at this end because it's a harder task for the runner to pick us up down here, more of a head move. Okay, so runner on first base, we're going to get on the outfield side. By rule, we're supposed to start in the box, and then as the ball is put in play, as long as we are not interfering with play, we are allowed to leave the box, okay? Typically, we see that enforced at the home plate end, which I'm a fan of because it's a safety thing for me, okay? I don't see many times where coaches are forced back into the box at this end, okay? But still, if we start at the end of the box, we're giving the runner a pretty good view, and then we can always creep up to the outfield side as the ball is put in play. Okay, we've got plenty of time to make that happen. Okay, basically we're positioning ourselves to give the runner the best look at us and making sure that as much information as possible is in front of us where we don't have to move our head too much to help us make decisions. Okay, let's move on to another scenario. Runner on second base. Okay, so now what's going to be easier for us as far as making a decision and giving the runner the best look? It's not this end anymore. Okay, now we're going to start at this end, and we might even creep down. If you watch great third base coaches, you'll see them so far down the line. Okay, that gives this runner the best look at us as they round and cut through through third base. It also means we're giving ourselves as coaches more time to make good decisions. Okay, we have all of the players involved in the throw home in front of us, everybody except the catcher. Okay, so by positioning ourselves here, we are more likely to make good decisions. Start in the box, hustle down. Okay, good third base coaches nail down their back pedals. Okay, we might even end up in a scenario where we stop the runner. We might stop the runner here. Okay, but then we see a bobble, air-mailed throw, some kind of mistake, and we can actually restart the runner, and it's going to be much easier for us to do that if we are down here giving ourselves more time to make good decisions. Okay, going to give you one more benefit of the third base coach being at this end of the box with a runner at second, and that relates to our role in helping the runner with their lead. Should they extend? Do they need to stay put? Do they need to squeak back to the base? Do they even need to get back to the base because of a pick? Okay, and what you'll generally find is it's much easier to judge how far the shortstop is from the base with this sort of angle. Okay, this is why you even see third base coaches try to creep out of the box a little bit to really improve that view. Okay, we'll see good shortstops will get right in the runner's back pocket, and then instead of vacating back to their position, they will actually creep back here, which if the third base coach has got this kind of angle, okay, it's harder to judge whether they're just taking a couple steps back in order to then run a pick or truly returning to their position. If we are down here at the home plate end, it's much easier to judge the shortstop's movements in relation to the bag. Okay, and remember, with a runner on second base, our job is to keep track of the middle infielders while the first base coach and hopefully the dugout has eyes on the pitcher and whether they're actually going to throw an inside move or a spin move there. Okay, so runner at first base, outfield side, runner at second base, home plate side of the base. Okay, but of course, sometimes we have multiple runners. Sometimes we're going to have to work with a runner in multiple locations, and we're going to be really, really busy. So, scenario now, runners at first and second. Primary responsibility is the lead runner. Secondary responsibility, the trail runner. So, where should we start? Well, if we're looking after the lead runner, here we are. Base hit to the outfield. This runner rounds third base. We've got a great look, and we're giving the runner a great look at us to make good decisions. Okay, this runner is wheeled. They're going to score. Now we're giving the trail runner a much harder look. So it's our responsibility to hustle back up to give this runner a better look at us as they round second base. Okay, and we might even end up, if this runner is approaching third with a chance to score, we might have started at the home plate end, wheel our first runner, hustle back up to look after the trail runner as they round second, and then we might even have to scoot back down to help them with decision making around third base. Like I say, third base coaches are going to get their steps in. One more scenario for you. Runner at third base. Now, I don't think this one's as critical as positioning with a runner at first and a runner at first and second and a runner at second, okay? This is just a preference of mine, okay? What I will typically see is the coach right in the runner's back pocket, and I understand that. You can be in their ear helping with reads and other information, okay? Preference of mine worth trialing yourself is to get level with or even slightly behind the third baseman, okay? This enables us, in the event of any back picks from the catcher, to have everybody that's going to be involved in that play in our field of view. Whereas if I'm up here, I'm not going to be able to as easily see the decisions that the third baseman's making, okay? So we're back here. We've got a third baseman who might break for the bag for the pick. We're going to see that earlier. We've also got the runner in our view. We've also got the catcher in our view. Okay, so again, just personal preference that if you have a runner at third base, you are on the outfield side trying to have third baseman in your view, and then we are less reliant on peripheral vision. We're less reliant on moving our head. We're less reliant on moving in general. Okay, again, just a personal preference. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this video, something to take home. Remember to be safe. Remember to put yourself in a good position to make decisions. Remember that as a third base coach, that should involve moving a lot. But also remember, the more that our base runners can make their own decisions, the better off we should be. Thanks for your time. Wish you all the best.